Little girl cried. My hand hurts so much. Her tiny frame shook with each sob, clutching her bandaged hand as if holding it tighter might ease the pain. The nurses moved quickly around her, adjusting machines and whispering to one another, but nothing could quiet her cries. They tried to soothe her with gentle words, a warm smile, even a small stuffed bear, but her tears kept falling. The sound of heavy footsteps echoed down the hospital corridor, growing louder until a man appeared in the doorway. His dark suit was sharp, his shoes polished like glass, and his presence commanded the attention of everyone in the room. Yet his face betrayed no businesslike calm, only fear. Emily! He cried, rushing to the bedside. The little girl lifted her head, tears blurring her eyes, but relief spread across her face the moment she recognized him. Daddy, she whispered. He knelt down beside her, ignoring the way his expensive suit wrinkled against the cold floor. He reached for her gently, careful not to touch her injured hand. I'm here, sweetheart. Daddy's here. Tell me what happened. A nurse spoke softly. She was at school when it happened. A heavy door slammed on her hand. It's swollen, but the doctors are examining her now. We'll need scans. Guilt darkened his expression. He stroked her hair tenderly. I should have been here sooner. I should have been there. Emily shook her head weakly. It's okay, Daddy. You're here now. Her words cut deep. For years, Richard Collins had been known as the millionaire who never lost a deal, the man who built an empire with relentless ambition. He gave his daughter the best mansion, the best tutors, the most expensive toys. But watching her small body trembling in pain, he realized how hollow all of it was. What she needed most was him. The doctor entered, clipboard in hand. It looks like a fracture. We'll set the bone properly, and with rest, she'll recover fully. It's painful now, but she'll be okay. Emily whimpered as the doctor gently examined her hand. Richard clenched his fists, his body trembling. The man who once faced down ruthless investors with an unshakable stare now found himself crumbling because his daughter hurt. He stayed close, whispering stories to distract her. He told her about climbing trees as a boy, about the time he scraped his knee so badly he cried for an hour. He even pulled silly faces until she giggled through her tears. Slowly, she stopped crying, her tiny fingers holding onto his arm instead of the bandage. Daddy, she whispered, will you stay with me tonight? In the past, he would have said no. There were meetings, calls, urgent matters. But not this time. He kissed her forehead. I'll stay right here, sweetheart. I won't leave your side. Hours slipped by. The treatment was successful, and Emily finally drifted into sleep. Richard sat by her bed, staring at her cast. He thought of every birthday he'd missed, every school play he hadn't attended, every night she had asked, when will you be home, Daddy? He thought success meant giving her everything. Now he knew the truth. Time and love were worth more than all his wealth. The next morning, Emily woke to find her father sitting beside her with a tray of pancakes and orange juice. She blinked in surprise. Daddy? Did you make this? He chuckled softly. The hospital cafeteria helped, but I carried it myself. And I made sure there's extra syrup, just the way you like it. She giggled, and the sound filled his chest with warmth. He couldn't remember the last time he'd heard her laugh like that. Later that day, his assistant called, reminding him of an international meeting. If we cancel, it'll cost millions, she said urgently. Richard glanced at his daughter coloring with her good hand, humming quietly. He took a deep breath. Cancel it. But sir, no meetings. No calls. Not this week. My daughter needs me. And for the first time in his life, he felt lighter. The hospital room began to change. He brought her blanket and teddy bear. He filled the corners with balloons and fairy lights. Nurses watched in awe as the city's most powerful businessman knelt on the floor, playing board games, making silly voices, and reading bedtime stories. One nurse whispered, I can't believe that's Richard Collins. Another smiled. He's not just a businessman, he's a father. One evening, Emily rested her head against his arm. Daddy, when I get better, will you come to my school play? You didn't see the last one. He kissed her forehead gently. I'll be in the front row, I promise. Her smile was worth more than any deal he'd ever signed. When she was discharged, her hand still in a cast, Richard walked beside her carrying her bag. Reporters swarmed them outside, cameras flashing. Mr. Collins, did you cancel your international deal? Will this cost you millions? Richard ignored every question. He lifted Emily into his arms, her cast resting gently against his chest. He whispered so only she could hear, "None of that matters. You're what matters." She hugged him tightly, and for the first time in years, Richard Collins felt richer than he ever had before.